Welcome back to the Triple Double Watch, guys. Today we got our first NFL video of the year. We're going to be ranking some quarterbacks. We have 34 quarterbacks on our list because Panthers have a little quarterback competition and the 49ers also have good quarterback competition. So we're going to rank all 34 and be the start of a little bit of NFL content as we get closer to the season. We'll give some predictions as we get closer, talk a little preseason action when it gets here. But now we got some NFL, so here we go.
Yeah, all right, so we're going to go from the bottom, 34 to 1. We have them in our tiers also. All right, so let's start out at the bottom.
Yep.
We have an agreement off the rip that Zach Wilson is the 34th best quarterback.
Yeah.
And I would argue that there's a couple guys we don't have on the list that are going to be backups that are probably better than him, too.
Yeah, we were talking pre-recording about Teddy Bridgewater would probably be like mid-20s on this list, but he's not a starting quarterback, so that's why we're not ranking him. But I think Zach Wilson is 34 for me, too. I think he's got potential still. I think by the end of this year he could
give the other team the ball half the game.
Well, I still like his mobility and stuff and his strong arm. I think by the end of the year he could move up into the mid-20s or so. But based off his showing last year, he's currently 34.
Yeah. And then right above him, at 33, I have Daniel Jones.
Yeah, so this is my first kind of hot take. I got Mitchell Trubisky at 33, and I only have that just because I need to see a little bit first. It's hard not seeing a quarterback.
MVP.
Yeah, exactly. So
he's literally the MVP.
I don't know. I like some of these guys that I got coming up. So
all right, so 32, I've got Davis Mills.
Yeah, I also have Davis Mills at 32.
The new solid, probably starter for them going forward without Watson anymore. So moving on, we got 31, another guy. Well, a guy
that was also
traded.
the end of my F tier, though.
Okay, yeah. So my F tier is 31 to 34. So this is the end of my F tier at Drew Lock at 31.
Yeah, so I also have Drew Lock at 31, but I think he's a slight step up above the other three. I kind of like him. I think he can at least manage a game better for you and not make any mistakes compared to the other three. So.
All right, so starting my D tier at 30 is Justin Fields.
30 for me was Daniel Jones, so I had him a little higher than you. I think I think the potential's out the window. I don't think he's going anywhere, but he's all right, I guess.
Okay. All right, so moving on to 29, I have Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, I got Sam Darnold.
Okay.
So
I got Darnold at 28.
I have Justin Fields now there.
Okay.
I think Justin Fields is still nice. I hope he's a guy that moves up this list soon. So.
Yeah, Logue's gonna have him a little higher than that, most likely.
Then 28. Yeah.
27. I have Jared Goff.
I have Trevor Lawrence.
Okay. Yeah, I just don't think Trevor's shown anything. He's same draft class as like Mac and those guys, and it's just not shown.
I also just think it was kind of the why am I drawing a blank? The head coach. It's the Urban Meyer effect a little bit. I think he's better than what he's shown.
Yeah. So the end of my D tier at 26 is Mitch Trubisky. I think you're slandering him a little bit there.
Yeah, probably.
He's going into the Steelers, so that's going to be a far different scenario.
26 for me was Mariota.
Okay. I feel like that's slightly low, but I'll get to where I have him. Start of my C tier, bottom of my C tier, 25, is Jalen Hurts.
25 for me was Trey Lance, and that ended my D tier with Trey Lance.
You got Trey Lance in the D tier.
I do. I didn't think he was all that in the games he played. I think he still will be eventually, but.
All right, so 24 is where I have Mariota. I feel like he's gonna. I mean, we haven't seen him really, so I feel like he came in and played some snaps every game. Felt like for the Raiders.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I feel like he could be decent for the Falcons.
Yeah, 24. I had Jared Goff. I like him a little bit better than Mariota and Lance. I still think he has some big games for the Lions last year, and but like you said with Mariota, I really hope he is good. I like watching him. Yeah.
So I have at 23. I have Trey Lance. I feel like he's better than D tier. He's still in my C tier and slightly above D, but
Gotcha.
I feel like he's better. Might be the starter here soon. So.
23 kind of gets dicey for me starting here, but I got Jameis Winston. Might be a little low, but I think he doesn't have as much firepower as some of the others I'm about to list.
Okay. So at 22, I have Trey Lance's competition as of right now is Jimmy G. So
22 for me was Tua. I think he's just a little bit better than Winston, as he's got some mobility and just some more firepower.
He's got Tyreek now to throw too.
Yeah,
I've got him
definitely.
at 21.
Gotcha.
So, yeah, I mean, I just think he's slightly better than the 49ers quarterback room.
Yeah.
Just barely.
Mm-hmm.
So, 21.
21 for me was Baker Mayfield. I still think he could have a bounce back season, be healthy, be on a new team, and be 15 by the end of the year.
Oh, yeah.
But
easily.
based off last season was a little rough for sure.
I really
I'll put him down
don't
at 21.
get the slander of Baker Mayfield from the just general NFL community right now.
He's
When he
definitely
played
a
his
starting
full-
quarterback.
He played a year hurt.
Yeah, exactly.
Major
And it's
diff.
because the Browns didn't. It's not like their backup quarterback was gonna just step
Yeah.
in and be just as good. So
Yeah, so at 20, I have Mac Jones. Kind of hurts to put him that low, but I feel like he hasn't.
Yep.
He's still got to prove himself some more. So
Yep, that's right where I got him. 20 Mac Jones. So
19 is where I got Baker, and like you said, he could jump up very easily. So
yep. 19 I got Carson Wentz. There's some games he's flashing top 10 potential again, and then there's some games he's like in the D tier probably, as low as the Jacksonville game at the end of last year was one of those. And
that was just a horrific
yeah,
performance overall.
yeah, for sure. But so overall, I'll slide him somewhere in the middle at 19 for me.
I've got Jameis Winston ending out my C tier at 18, and I feel like he could also jump up like Baker, get healthy, and have a bigger role. So
Absolutely.
he's ending my C tier at 18.
Gotcha. 18, I got Jimmy G. I like him better than Lance by a decent bit. I still think he's better. Still don't think they should trade him. He played pretty good in the playoffs last year. I think he's a guy you could win a Super Bowl with. You're not betting on it by any means, but you could. He's still in my C tier at 18. So.
All right, so starting my B tier, 17 is Carson Wentz. I still think he's in that tier with some of these guys that I'm gonna say. I feel like they're very similar, a lot of them. So, yeah, he's gonna be the bottom of my B tier, 17.
So I got two more guys at C tier still, kind of the average realm. I got Tannehill at 17. Okay. So
I've got Tannehill at 16, so pretty close. Yeah, he's definitely going down for me though. I had him higher last year. I kind of like the draft pick too. If something happens to Tannehill, he could end up losing the spot. So. What you got at 16?
16 is much higher than yours.
God.
I got Jalen Hurts.
Listen to this K dog.
He's
Hurts at 16.
He's still in C tier for me. He's the end of my C tier. He's still a guy that's not going to carry you through a game, but I kind of like the mobility and the firepower potential he has over guys like Tannehill and Garoppolo. So he's sliding into 16 for me. I think he had a good season last year.
Okay. Well, at least you don't have him above Joe Burrow.
Well, that would
Shout
be
out
blasphemous.
Logan, who mid-season last year at work, we made a quarterback tier list and ranked them, and he had Jalen Hurts ahead of Joe Burrow.
So
Mid-season last year.
So when you look at it that way, I'm not even being that absurd.
No, it's still pretty absurd.
I mean,
At 15, I've got Matt Ryan, just ahead of Wentz, who, as we talked about before, that the Colts better hope that Matt Ryan is better than Carson Wentz this year.
Yeah, I worry Matt Ryan is facing a somewhat steep decline. I don't know. The injuries seem to catch up just a bit last season. I hope not, but he's at 15 for me also. He starts at the bottom of my B tier. But
He's
I hope
right in the middle of my B tier. So
I hope it works out for the Colts, for sure.
I think he's a step up. So at least for a year or two.
Yeah.
All right, so 14, I've got Kirk Cousins. He was really like the first or second guy that I was like just not in the elite tier. Like,
yeah,
he's not going to go out there and just carry a team.
Exactly.
So.
Yeah, I got Kirk Cousins at 14 also. Same thought process. He's not going to carry a team, but he's a very good quarterback.
And the first borderline guy that, like, he's the top of B. He was borderline A, like, could carry, and just won a Super Bowl, is Matthew Stafford for me at 13.
Yeah, 13 for me is probably a little low on most lists, but I got Russell Wilson. I'll get into the next three guys I have two more guys in B tier after this, and I'll get into them a little bit, but I worry Russ doesn't seem as mobile anymore. Doesn't mean he's not in general, but he seems a little bit less mobile, which was kind of his specialty. So looking at some of the guys I have ahead, I kind of like him a little bit better.
Yeah, so I mentioned this to you before that shout out Pat McAfee show. They talked the other day about Russell Wilson, how he could come in and play like Stafford did, like new scenery, just read like a whole new energy to his career, and they look like a good roster. So like absolutely really good.
And it's one of those things too. I want him to kind of prove it to me, and I mean, who am I? But like, I want him to be like. I feel like he's going to be extra motivated on this new team too to prove something. So
yeah. So this guy's at the bottom of my A tier. He starts it at 12. He's got the talent to be top 7, 8, maybe even higher, but we don't know if he's going to play at all anytime soon. So Deshaun Watson at 12 for me. He's got the talent to be top 5 or 6, but like
he's just a big question mark.
You don't know if you're going to get him. Yeah. So I put him at 12.
So 12 for me is one higher than you had him. I have Matthew Stafford still in a B tier for me. Still a guy that you need a little bit of help. I mean, it's been shown from the Lions. Now some of those Lions teams were really bad around him, but even when they had good teams, it was shown he needs a little bit of help, and he gets to the Rams, he gets his good wide receiver core, he gets really good defense, and he wins the Super Bowl. But nothing wrong with being number 12. So
I got this guy a little bit low probably. So my like 7 to 12 is so jumbled, like they could move around. But I got Justin Herbert at 11. He's amazing. Another guy that could be top 6 or 7.
Mm-hmm.
But I need to see more probably. I mean, I saw he had a really good year, I'm not saying that, but I need to see it sustained. So I got him at 11.
Yeah, 11 for me is a different AFC West quarterback. I got Derek Carr. I like Justin Herbert a little bit better than Derek Carr.
I'm on the flip side of that. At 10, I have Carr.
Yeah, so Derek Carr was the end of my B tier, too. Okay. I still think he's a guy that you need some help around him. I think the Raiders
he just got it.
And Devontae Adams, they bolstered their defense some, so it's really make or break here for Derek Carr in general to solidify himself as an elite quarterback or a B-level quarterback is where I still got him.
Well, he's Hall of Famer, apparently, according to Devontae. Side note, did you see Aaron take a little jab back?
Yeah, I did.
They asked him about Allen Lazard, and he said it's different going from Hall of Famer to Hall of Famer.
Hall of Famer to Hall of Famer, yep. So.
Anyways, I got Carr at 10, and then I have Russ at 9. I think he's, like I said, going to come in and have a spark plug to his career, I think.
Yeah. So I had Carr at 11, and then I have Deshaun Watson at 10, who starts my A tier. I think he's a guy that can carry you in a game if he plays. And then I got Kyler Murray at 9 now.
Okay. Yeah, I've got Murray at 8. Some interesting news about him lately. Questioning his, willingness to put forth the effort. But his talent is what's going to carry him.
Yeah, I didn't really think about it. If you don't know what we're talking about, Kyler Murray recently signed a huge extension, and the Arizona Cardinals put in it. He had to do 4 hours a week of independent film study and whatnot.
And have since taken it out after a few days.
It's just I didn't really think of anything at the time. It's just like you're making a $200 million commitment. You just want to, it's just a safety type
similar
thing.
To I heard today that the Pelicans on Zion Williamson's new contract have put in a clause where he has to have a below 295 sum of weight and body mass or fat or whatever.
Yeah.
So
if you're going to put all your resources into one guy, you just want to make sure they're fully committed. It doesn't matter how committed they've been the 3 years prior, it's been countless times you've seen somebody gets the huge contract and they don't really care anymore. They said, I've made the payday, I'm just going to vibe out now. So you want to know he's fully committed the next.
Yeah, and what was funny about that is, like, how would they have even known?
Exactly.
I mean, he could have literally just turned his iPad on or whatever, a Surface Pro.
Yeah.
Obviously they're NFL is big with Microsoft, so that's not an iPad, sorry. Their Surface Pro, he could have just sat it down and just had it playing film while he does something else. Like, how are you going to be able to tell?
Yeah. So.
Anyways, I got him at 8. Did you say you're 8?
So 8, I got Dak. I think he's barely better than Kyler Murray.
Yeah, so I got Dak at 7. I mean, it's this, like I said, these guys are so close to each other. I feel like a healthy Dak is a threat to any team in the league.
Yeah, so my 7 was not way higher, but a little bit higher than yours. I have Justin Herbert at 7.
I can totally get.
And my reasoning behind him over Dak, Kyler Murray, Deshaun Watson, I just think he makes some throws on the run combined with his arm strength that some of these other guys just simply can't. And so when he makes some of those plays, you have a 3-play possession and then a touchdown, and some of these other guys I'm not sure can do that consistently.
So at 6 I have a guy that's better than Jalen Hurts by a mile. Made it to the Super Bowl last year. Joe Burrow, I feel like, is one of the future guys of the NFL.
Yeah, so at 6 I got Lamar Jackson. So
what are we flipped? I have Lamar at 5.
Yep, and I got Joe Burrow at 5.
It's going to be interesting to see those guys go at it for years to come.
Yep.
The only reason I would think, if we were comparing like the teams, it feels like the Ravens just sent out most of Lamar's help.
Yeah, it's going to be.
Why it was a questionable offseason for Baltimore. So, but I'm looking at the quarterbacks. I still think Lamar is better.
And I can totally see that. Yeah.
I think it was Pat McAfee again the other day. I saw talking about him, how people are like just heavily underestimate his quarterback ability.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, this is another side thing, but everybody looks at Lamar and says, "Oh, he can just run." But you compare him to somebody that can, like, I think they said something about comparing him to like these RB tier guys. You take their throwing ability, and he's a little bit lower, so like he's like here to their throwing. But if you take the running, he's like here, and they're way down here. Yeah. So it's like it's just a different style. It's not. Mm-hmm. Pat said it was like these old style people, old football fans that are like, they have this idea of what a quarterback has to be.
Exactly.
And it's not like that anymore.
And I think, honestly, the only reason I probably put him at 6 when I was originally doing this is because I was thinking about all the weapons Burrow has, and I wasn't thinking about it, but they certainly help him. Yeah. I mean, if Lamar Jackson had,
if you give Lamar Jamar Chase and T. Higgins,
exactly. But the Ravens are counting on a lot of younger wide receivers to take a step up, and they better hope so, considering what they did.
Lamar ends my A tier at 5,
and Burrow ended my A tier at 5.
So we have the same 4 at the top.
Yep.
I'm sure most NFL fans should have these guys at the top 4, maybe 5. I think we talked about how people have different styles. I think this next guy for me at 4 is a combination of both. He's got a cannon and can run, and Josh Allen. I have him at 4. I feel like he could easily be 3, maybe 2.
Yeah, for sure. This 1 through 4 is such a toss-up, and it's just who's on a given night.
Which most of these guys are all mostly on every night.
Yeah, for sure. But just like literally, I'm 20 of 22 on the night type. Yeah, so maybe a bit controversial here. Back-to-back MVP, but I'm gonna go Rodgers at 4, and I say that just because I do factor in the playoffs a little bit. And looking at the playoffs, I still think I'd rather have the 3 guys that we're going to talk about
I'm taking one of the guys, and that's not how I factored it, but there's only one of the guys ahead of him that I would rather have in the playoffs.
And is that?
The GOAT.
Okay. So I think I'd rather have Mahomes, too.
I would not.
But
especially if you're factoring in, I know that Aaron Rodgers just lost a Hall of Fame receiver, but I think we're losing sight on how much Tyreek Hill is going to affect the.
Yeah, I worry
Chiefs.
about both the Chiefs and the Packers next year because they
What do
are.
you mean? They got Allen Lazard. He's a Hall of Famer.
They are. Now that you can triple team Travis Kelce, I don't know exactly what the
Juju's
Chiefs.
going to have to step up and quit making TikToks.
Yeah, I forgot
But,
they got.
I mean, I heard from training camp so far that he's impressing them.
Yeah,
So
and he's gonna need to step up basically in the Tyreek role. I mean, he's not gonna be as good by any means, but
no, I think he's more of a. I think they're going to play him more of an underneath type guy.
yeah,
Travis Kelce going to be across the middle.
Yeah.
You got Juju's probably going to be running kind of slant boy kind of
Yeah.
routes.
oh yeah. I didn't mean necessarily the same.
I know what
role,
you're saying,
Just the
yeah,
same
just-
production. Like he
Yeah.
is gonna be the guy almost, like wide receiver wise. So
Well, I've got his quarterback at 3, Pat Mahomes. So this I very well could have Allen ahead of him. I feel like they're so close.
Mhm.
Pat is, I feel like, underwhelmed last year a little bit.
he definitely did.
So
For 3, I got Josh Allen for me, just barely above Rodgers. I think he's kind of turning into a type of Rodgers too, as far as his escapability and making throws on the run, wild throws like Rodgers does. But like I said, this could go either way. So
well, at 2, I still think these guys are the top of the quarterbacks in the NFL. Have been for years. 2, I've got Tom Brady, and this is such a toss. I could easily still have Tom at 1, but back-to-back MVP is kind of hard to top.
yeah, 2, I got Tom Brady also.
So that
Nothing
leads
much
us
to say. It's
to
good.
our greatest ever. That leads us to our number 1s. I've got the back-to-back MVP. I mean, you can't argue. I don't feel like you can argue with that.
No, and by no means, I could do this in 2 weeks and change my mind. It's that.
That's how I was with the top 4, really 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and then like 5 through 12. Like
Exactly.
I said, I could just.
Yeah. So number 1 though, I got Patrick Mahomes. I think it was definitely a down year last year, but I think that's all the more reason I'm excited for how he's going to play this year. I just don't think he'll have back-to-back bad seasons. Now, as far as his weapons go, like we said, I don't know how that will go over, but
So I think
his throwing ability combined with the arm angles and the wildness that he just creates, I think he's the
definitely
best quarterback.
think they go from more or less of a deep threat type team where they can just throw it up to Tyreek
Yeah.
to like real technical.
Absolutely.
And I feel like that might help Pat in a way.
Yeah.
I mean,
It might
He
simplify it
can
a
do
little
everything,
bit for
but
him.
I feel like that helps his arm health. Not having to
Exactly.
throw booms all the time.
Exactly.
So
And it felt like last year, especially that first half of the year when they struggled more in that first half of the season, he had 8 or 9 interceptions in the first 8 games. It felt like he was trying to make heroic plays at times
for sure.
and, simplify the offense some this year, not having to make 30-yard on the throw runs and get more checkdowns and stuff, and it'll just simplify it for him too because no matter, we look at Tom Brady too. He'll dink and dime you all the way down the field. He does not care. So, sometimes that's just how it goes against elite defenses, and you got to accept that.
We're going to get into it. We're going to do a preseason preview of what we think every team is going to do.
Yeah, it's going to be really fun.
But everybody knows this, that AFC West is going to be so crazy.
Mm-hmm.
It's possible they all get in.
Anybody could finish 1 in that division, and anybody could finish 4.
Literally all of them.
The Chiefs could finish 4 just because wide receiver goes down. Their corps are terrible now. The safety goes down
I
for
feel
the
like
Chiefs too. Their defense isn't that deep.
They have a lot of solid running backs, but it's like I don't think any of them are crazy. They're not going to really carry them. So, anyways, that's our quarterback rankings. And tiers, I guess. Before we end, do you have a little list of our averages?
Yeah, so real quick, we'll run through that. So tied first, we had Brady and Mahomes for the averages. Rodgers is 3 just because I had him at 4. But, like we said, these are all close. Josh Allen was 4. Tied 5th was Lamar and Burrow.
Because we had him flopped.
Yeah.
So.
7, we had Dak on an average. 8, Kyler Murray. 9, Justin Herbert. 10, Derek Carr. 11, Russell Wilson. Tied for 11, Wilson and Deshaun Watson. 13th, Matthew Stafford. 14th, Kirk Cousins. 15th, Matt Ryan. 16th, Ryan
This is
Tannehill.
really sounding like a lot of my list.
Yeah, it's close. I mean, we didn't have too many differences, and then
Yeah.
some of them were huge gaps, and find in between here. 17, Carson Wentz. Tied 18. We had three guys: Jimmy G, Baker, and Mac Jones. Tied 21st then was Jameis Winston and Jalen Hurts. 23 was Tua. 24 is Trey Lance. 25, Marcus Mariota. 26, Jared Goff. 27, Trevor Lawrence. 28, Sam Darnold. 29, Justin Fields. 30, Mitch Trubisky. 31, Drew Lock. 32, Daniel Jones. 33, Davis Mills, even though we both had him at 32 because that's how math works. And 34, we both agreed last place is Zach Wilson right now.
Poor guy.
So work your way up the
guy.
list, Zach Wilson.
Thank you for watching.
Yeah, we're glad you guys joined us. We'll have some more NFL exciting stuff coming up. That preseason video will be really fun, so
Yeah.
stay tuned for that. But until next time, we appreciate you guys. Peace. Sponsored by Milk and Remnants of Pecan Pie.